This text addresses issues of critical digital literacies as social praxis and theoretical frameworks as they apply to the study and the research of critical literacies in multimodal spaces. The editors conclude that the book as a whole represents the still fractious nature of the theoretical underpinnings of critical digital literacies and suggests to advance towards a more unitary socio-cognitive framework for literacy investigations that could inform future research, designs, and methods. The text personifies the direction we are headed in multiple scientific disciplines, a stance that views critical digital literacies as essential in the progression of 21st century education. Moreover, there is an emphasis for greater examination of the cognitive process as irretrievably subject to contextual factors on a number of social levels, all of which affect the state of education. It makes visible the shift in power, discourse, digital online communities, and education as we know it, based on a multifaceted qualitative framework. I was drawn to the implicit promise of a long-called-for paradigm change in literacy, technology-driven, and gaming research, particularly when examining the critical and digital realm within socio-cultural contexts. There is the assertion that technology and digital literacies have made it possible to travel and communicate virtually in simulated nonlinear worlds. This literacy travel explores ramifications for development of literacies across curricula and educational contexts. A focus on identifying critical digital literacies within a theoretical standpoint based on the work of Frere, Foucault, Marx, and Jenkins prove informative in understanding that literacies are transformative in the power relations they hold between teacher and student. Finally, educators are urged to empower disenfranchised learners by becoming joint seekers of knowledge in new media. Educators are advised to open up the classroom landscape to allow for multiple paths of knowledge by being open-minded and allowing for what Foucault terms permanent criticism, where students could in fact overtake the role as teacher. A key theme that circulated throughout the book was the need for choice, where those involved could position themselves within the discourse of school and community as more than just literacy learners, but in multiple roles. This calls upon the work of Jenks in suggesting that merely giving students access to tools with which to design text without an opportunity to deconstruct dominant discourses can lead to their unconscious reproduction. Within the digital world, the negotiation of relationships between language and power is essential. Likewise was the idea that media often promotes static or problematic notions of gender identity, which tends to be the constraining side of technology. Yet when participants are given the opportunity to engage in meaningful literacy practices that are mixed with popular culture, multimodal objects, and individual interests, this helps to form identity. The introduction of social media, new technologies, and contextualized tools enable students to reflect on their digital behavior and use the digital tools as a means of empowerment rather than just pure entertainment, and this is essential. Finally, the examination of hacker literacies typified the remediation in digital spaces, meaning that users become designers and are involved in the process in a creator-user negotiated space. Discussion of findings and implications for future changes left me unsatisfied. Drawing on a widened theoretical lens that would reflect a nonlinear relationship between the two perspectives of providing students access to digital opportunities, while at the same time teaching and discovering the critical thinking tools to create an alternative discourse need to be equal. Therefore, this theoretical framework must be explicitly embedded in all literacy research in order to gain a greater appreciation of the education in the 21st century. The point of interest raised can be the subject of future discussions around literacy issues, creating a concrete definition of critical digital literacies and the implementation of such in classrooms. As researchers and educators, we need to keep up with the transient notion of technology and continue to challenge discourses and power relationships to give way to a more reflective and analytically vested future.